Hi students, good evening. Welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Dominic Chukwu Emeka, aka Sam Dom for Peace. In this video session, we shall discuss an application of what you have learned so far in Python. And that application will be the rental car billing project. So I'm going to open it. And as I'm opening it, I will go ahead and open the PyCharm. We are going to write this application as usual. We shall write it using the Codio and the PyCharm. I noticed that the values that I will be doing today are also the same values that you have in your first project. So I will be contacting Codio, or if Codio happens to view this video, if the Codio team views this video, they should take notes. And I'm also going to contact them to change the values, values of the exercises. So, because the essence for you is to at least know how to write this. I understand some of you are new in programming, and that is part of the reason I'm doing this. But once you understand it the way, if you watch the video and you see me do it, then you can now do yours with your own values. If you are able to do it with your values, then that is learning. Okay. And I'm also doing it as well in PyCharm so that you can be familiar with some other ways it could be done. Codio wants it their way, the Codio environment, because like I said, they are using system files, they are using the inputs from the command line. However, if you don't have Codio environment, you can still run Python using any open source effective and efficient Python IDE. Please, before you continue with this video, it is highly recommended that you have viewed the videos in order. All the videos I've posted prior to this video, it is important that you view them in order. And in this video that deals with application, we shall be using our knowledge of the numeric expressions, string expressions, and conditional statements to do this application. So please, this is the first project to test your knowledge on the topics, on the concepts you've learned so far, which are numeric expressions, string expressions, and conditional statements. I'm not going to promise I will do all the projects. Hopefully, after doing this one, you would have acquired enough knowledge to work the rest of the problems. And I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on this one, no problem. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. After doing this project and probably doing some more videos, you would have at least acquired enough knowledge to now work the rest of the exercises on your own. So this project deals with the rental car application, and we are going to create a simple rental car cost estimator. The project is broken into 3 sections. We'll ask for customer input. We collect the customer input. Then we calculate the cost from the customer input. And then we display the results to the customer. So let's go ahead. Let's have a new project. I know we've been working on first project, but let's have a new project this time that we can call applications. And we want to open it in current window. Okay, we choose to open it in current window. And under these applications, we can have a new Python file, and we can call this application, we call it rental car app, rental car cost estimator, rental car cost estimator. As you can see, I'm using what we call the camel case. This is what we call camel case system of naming system. I start with a small letter, then of course there's no space in file names. You don't have space in the file names. So you have a rental, then C is uppercase, then this C is uppercase, this E is uppercase. We call this the this naming system camel case. Just like a camel, like a camel, it has humps. So this is the camel, you can call it the head of the camel, and this is the hump. This is the hump, this uppercase. So we call it camel casing. Okay, let's look at this here. We will do it in both ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this exactly like this, and I'll come here and paste it. And I'm going to remove this import sys. This file, I'm going to remove it. So the first one is request rental code. Prompt the user to, is it budget or daily or weekly rental? That's, you ask the user, is it going to be budget or daily or weekly rental? So after requesting the rental code, then you request the time period the car was rented, how many days the car is rented, or how many weeks the car is rented. So if the users, if the rental code, you're asking the user here, okay, you're asking the customer, hey, the customer comes to rent a car, and you ask the customer, do you want budget or daily or weekly rental? And the customer says budget. If the customer says budget, you ask the customer, okay, how many days rented? How many days do you want it rented? If the customer says daily, you ask the customer, how many days do you want it rented? If the customer says weekly, then you should ask how many weeks. How many weeks do you want it rented? So that is the what you want to do here. Collect customer data. Ask the customer, what kind of rental do you want? If it is budget, the customer will either say budget, so B is budget, or D is daily, or W is weekly. So the customer tells you budget. Then you now put in B. If the customer says daily, then you put in D. If the customer says weekly, then you put in W. Then number 2 here, you request number of days or weeks the car was rented. You now ask the customer, okay, how many, if the customer says budget or daily, then you ask the customer, okay, how many days do you want it rented? But if the customer says weekly, then you ask the customer, okay, how many weeks do you want it rented? And they want this to be on a new line. We've done new. So they want you to enter this on a new line. So this is a great way, in the conditional statements we talked about in the previous video, just before this one, we talked about for strings. If they ask the user input and you put space, then it might mess it up. But if you put it in the new line, then there will be no need to add space. So this is another nice way. This is a nice way of writing this. So you ask the customer what kind of rental, then the customer tells you that you put it and it is in a new line. All right, so let's go ahead and write this. We'll write it. Let's write it first in PyCharm. Let's write it first in PyCharm. So we'll say here rentalCode equal to, and this is also camel casing. It's one of the ways we can name variables in Python. Camel casing, because this is uppercase, it's like the hump of a camel, so we call it camel casing. So we write rentalCode is, we ask the input function, do you want what kind of rental? And I'm going to do it my own way here, but don't worry, we will do what these folks want. We will do what Codio team wants. But the joy of programming is doing it your own way, provided that the output is the same. So I'm going to do it my own way here in PyCharm. PyCharm is the actual real world scenario because it's open source, it's free. I'm not paying for it. It's free. So, but you're paying for Codio. You're paying for this. I'm not paying for mine. So that's why I want to show you, both ways. The nice thing is to make sure that it works. What kind of rental do you want? That's the way I'm going to say it here. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make a comment here. Let the customer specify the type and then put in the code. So, and I want this on a new line, so I will put space n. Okay, we talked about escape characters. So, I'll put it /n. We talked about the escaping. We talked about it in the previous video. Okay, so then put in the code. Okay, put in the code B for budget. D for daily, or W for weekly. So I'm gonna run this. I'll come here, I'll click run, and I go ahead and click this run. What kind of rental do you want? Even if you put a space, you want this to be like this on the new line, and we write B. Now it will just nothing there, we just ask that what kind. That's all we asked. So the same thing we do here. We write here rental code. This has IntelliSense already with your code. It has IntelliSense already. You see, this doesn't have IntelliSense rental code because your Codio has already been developed fully. You know, with all these variables that you need to use. So here I will say rental code. I will just gonna put this. Let me just copy it like this. Control C. You're asking the person, you want budget, daily, or weekly rental. I'm just gonna copy it like this. Okay. So this is what they need here. That's what they need. Then the next thing is request number of days or weeks the car was rented. So if here we're gonna look at this here. For budget rental and for daily rental, we're going to ask the user how many days. How many days? For weekly rental, we ask the customer how many weeks. That is what they want here. So how we're going to write this is this. We are going to have a conditional statement. If the rental code is B or D, or the rental code is D, then ask the user how many days. Okay, do you want it to rent? How many days do you want to rent? If the rental code is weeks, then ask the user how many weeks. So this is a conditional statement. Okay, so we're gonna do this here. I'm gonna come here and we're gonna print this. Add code here to print. So we're gonna say if rental. Now this has IntelliSense because I've already defined it. You know, I've already assigned it, so it now has IntelliSense for rental code. If rental code equal, because we are equal, this is not assigning, this is now equal. If the rental code is B, and I like using double quotes, I'm gonna use it in mine here, but for Codio I will use single quotes, that's fine. If the rental code is B or the rental code is D, daily, then you put your colon. We just did conditional statements in the previous video. Now, if it's this or this, then you ask the user the rental period. So we say rental period would be input. We ask the user input. How many days do you want to rent it? How many days do you want to rent it? And we put this in a new line because they want us to put it in a new line. Else if, which is elif, if the rental code is W, then ask the user rental period, ask the user input how many weeks do you want to rent? How many weeks do you want to use it? How many days do you want to use it? And how many to use the car? How many days do you want to use the car? And then how many weeks do you want to use the car? Because this is a car estimator, rental car. I'm gonna put the comments here. Application of Python, concepts used. I'm gonna do this comment. Concepts used. The concepts that we are using here is the numeric expressions, string expressions, conditional statements, and then the title of application. Title of application is the rental car cost estimator. Rental car cost estimator. Okay, so as I'm doing this, technology is sometimes funny. I'm gonna open up Notepad, and I will just go ahead. I'll copy what I've done so far and I paste it here, no problem. Later I will still be pasting it, okay? And I'm gonna save this desktop, Python exercises. We've been saving the rest. Here, this is a text file. I will write Python app, rental car cost estimator. Let me just remove all this, it doesn't matter. Python app, rental car cost estimator, and I'll save it. Okay, like I said, if you want this, I've said it before in other videos, if you want this, then let me know. Okay, it's always good to have save your codes, but later we'll make sure everything works. We'll keep I don't want to lose this at all in case something happens. So all right, so this is the way we want it. If the customer says we want budget, then ask the customer how many days. If the customer says he or she wants daily, ask the customer how many days. However, if the customer says he or she wants weekly, then ask the customer how many weeks. So let's test this. Let's test it. What kind of rental budget? How many days? Good. So it asks it, which is nice. We can write num lock. Okay, 9. Okay. We test it again for the next one. D, daily, how many days? 9 days. Okay, but we do that now and we put W. Ask how many weeks. Good, thank God. This works now. How many weeks? We put 5 weeks. It's already finished running. Okay. W, how many weeks? This should give us a new line. I want it to be a new line, so I'm gonna put this now in a new line, and I run this again. What kind of rental? W. Now how many weeks? 5 weeks. Okay, good, it works. All right, so I'm gonna come here and let's write it here. The only thing is number of days rented. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna copy this, right? I'm gonna copy this like this. I will just change the way they want it, but it's the same stuff. Just the only thing I'll change is just the way they want it. Come here. This will be number of days rented. I'll copy this and I'll come here and paste this here. Number of days rented, and then this will be number of weeks rented. Okay. Number of weeks rented. Okay, as you can see, you see this is IntelliSense. This is as you're typing something, it pops up. We call it IntelliSense. IntelliSense. See, Cody already has that. All right, I think this is all they want for now. I think so. So I'm gonna check this. Check one failed. Hey, you see how I'm laughing? Like you see how I'm laughing? Oh wow! I see the problem. Ah, come on, Sam dumb. What is wrong with you? I asked input here. Why didn't I put the input here? Can you imagine that? Input. You see what you see I'm laughing. Some folks now they will give up. So I'm gonna put input here, input, and I noticed something also in my other code. As this happened, I just noticed something. So this is input. This should work now. Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, I need to finish this also. I need to finish this. Okay, so I noticed something also in mine here. I did input here, but there's something I even noticed now. Uh, Here, I don't want to do input here because the rental period, how many days or how many weeks is supposed to be an integer. It's supposed to be an integer. Hey, okay, let me say this. I will make mistakes in this video, but I'll correct it. So I'm going to make mistakes and I'm not going to, I'm not going to come and start editing it to remove the mistakes I made. No. This is to let you know that programmers make mistakes. In fact, anybody that is a human, only God does not make mistake. Every human being makes mistakes. Programmers, it is okay to make mistakes. It is very, very okay to make mistakes. Very okay. Okay. Now, but the thing there that makes you a real programmer is you make the mistakes, you fix it. That's the thing. If you make the mistakes, you don't give up. You fix it. So, rental period is supposed to be integer. So I'm going to put integer here. Remember, we did numeric expressions. So you can have days. You can have 2.5 days. I mean, you can have 2.5 days, but in this case, we don't want floats. We don't want floats in the days or the weeks. So I'm going to put integer here, and I'll put integer here because it has to be an integer. Remember, if you just put input, it treats it as string. It treats it as string. So that's why it says here, check one failed. Okay. So the problem is with this. I'm going to put integer here. I'll put integer here to convert the input to integer. Okay. To convert the string to an integer. So int. And then I can check it now. Ah, wow. Still says this. So let's see here. Let's see here. If rental code is budget or daily, if rental code is W, equal this. So number of days rented. Okay. Yeah, okay, we need to add code here to print. We need to print it. Okay. So we didn't print it. So we gotta print it. We didn't print it. You see here, it says this, but it didn't print anything. So we need to, I'm gonna make another line. We need to print the rental code and then print the rental period. Print the rental period. And I want to do the same thing here as well. Because this doesn't print it either. Like it's asking the user, but it didn't print it. I want it to do this. Now let me do this first. Let me run it here. If I run this here, you see it will print it. Rental code B, rental period 3, and it prints it B3, B and 3. Let me modify this. I want to modify it well. I'm gonna say here, let me just play with this, you know. The rental code you entered is, and let me convert this to string. Let me convert this to string rental code. Oh no, I don't even need to convert it to string because actually it is already string. So I don't need to convert to string. So the rental code you entered is, I just put rental code. And then here, I will say the rental period. The rental period you entered is, but here I need to convert it to string because it's an integer. So convert back to string, rental period. And this is one of the several ways we can put this. If I run this, B, I run this 3. It tells me that the rental code you entered is B, the rental period you entered is 3. So I think this is what they want here. Check it. Yo, passed. Thank God. This worked now. Now the next one, customer data check 1B. So which one is 1B? Let's see here. Oh, this one passed. Thank God. Next. So here we want to set the base charge for the rental type as the variable base charge. And base charge is the rental period times the appropriate rate. These are the rates here. These are the rates here. Okay, I'm going to come here and write this. Excuse me. I'll come here and write this. We want to find the base charge. And the base charge is the rental period, how many days or how many weeks, times the appropriate rate. So for the budget charge is $40, daily charge $60, weekly charge is $190. Okay, so we will have three conditional, we'll have some, not three, we'll have a conditional statement, but it has 3 conditions. Okay, it will have a conditional statement with 3 conditions. So we'll use the elif. So this is what we'll do here. We'll say if rental code, because this is based on the rental code. If rental code equal B, equal B, then the budget charge, which I call the rate. Okay, I'm going to call it the rate. The budget charge is equal to $40, is equal to 40.00. And the base charge, they want us to use the variable base charge. So base charge is equal to the rental period which the user entered, rental period times the budget charge. Okay. Else if the rental code equal the budget charge will be $60, 60.00. I am not putting the $sign now, and I know why, because we are going to use this to multiply this. You put in $sign now, it messes it up with when we start multiplying. So later we will look at how we format currency. We'll look at how we format currency later on in this video. We'll look at at least 2 ways that we can use to format currency later on in this video. So the base charge for daily rental would be the same, the same formula. Okay, the same formula times budget charge. Then elif, if the rental code equal weekly, what happens? What condition? The budget charge is equal to $190, and the base charge is equal to the rental period times the budget charge. Okay. So, actually, let me cut this and paste it directly under here. Okay. And I also copy it. Let me run this first. What kind of rental? Let's say B. How many days? 3 times 40 is 120. So 3. The rental period. Okay. We didn't say print base charge. We didn't say that. But let's print base charge and see. Print base charge and see. It should give us $120. For now, it will give us 120. Later, we will discuss formatting. So if I say B, how many days? 3 days, $120. Okay. So I'm just gonna come here and I will paste. I will just remove all this and I'll do Control V. I'll paste all this here. Okay, I'll paste it and that's for this part. Okay. The next one, collect mileage information. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and say the base charge. I just want to do this my own. The base charge for the rental is another way to do this is by doing this. Another way to do this. Okay. Now this is actually in dollars, so this is what I can do. Let me show you. I'll show you now how to format this in currency and in dollar sign, and it has to be, because it's in dollars, it has to be 2 decimal places. So this is one thing we could do. This is one thing we could do here. I'm gonna do this way. Is I will put the dollar sign first, and I'll put the braces, and I'll close this, and I'll say dot format, and I'll put base charge. Okay. Now, but inside these braces, I want it in 2 decimal places. So what I'm gonna do is I'll put a colon, I'll put dot 2 floats. Okay. Let's test it and see. It should give me the base charge for the rental is $120. That's what it should give me. Whenever, when you're doing all this, you want to make it so simplified, easy for people to really understand it. So if I do B and I do how many days? 3 days. It will say the rental code you entered is B, the rental period you entered is 3. The base charge for the rental is $120. You see that? Thank God it's working fine. Okay, let's face your Codio. Here, the next one, it did not tell us to print the base charge, so we will not worry about printing it. The next thing is to collect mileage information, starting odometer reading, put it in a new line, and then ending odometer reading, putting in a new line. So we have, I'm just gonna do it here, odo start and odo end. So we have odo start, which should be in integer. Your odometer reading is an integer. Then impute, input, put a parenthesis and then double quotes or single quotes, whichever one. What is the starting odometer reading of the car? What is the starting odometer reading? Starting odometer reading of the car. Put it in a new line, and then odo end. Odo end, integer, input function. What is the ending odometer reading? Odometer reading of the car. We put this in a new line. Okay. And this is what they're asking us for, actually. If we look at this, B3, what is the starting odometer reading? Let us put, let's separate this with a line before the odometer reading. So I'm gonna just come here and I will say print new line. How about it? New line. So it will new line /n. So I just have space between this and this. Kind of make it nice, you know, just preference. And I'm gonna stop this because it's running. I'll stop it. I run it again. What kind of car? B? How many days? 3. Okay, so you see it has demarcated that new line. What is the starting odometer reading? So we can. Oh, you see here they gave us something here. Okay, D5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2. So we'll stop this, run it again. D, what kind of rental? D, how many days? 5. Okay. What is the starting odometer reading? 1 2 3 4. What is the ending odometer reading? 2 2 2 2. So, and it will exit. Okay, with code 0, that's fine. All right. We're just gonna, I'm gonna copy this. Now let's do this in Codio. Like, this is the way I would like you to do it in the real world. Like, simplifying everything and defining everything. You know, it makes it easier. And if you're working in a team, it will be easier. If you're working in a team, it will be easier for them to like know what you're doing. So I'm just gonna copy this here and just change the question. So it will suit Codio. It will suit what Codio wants. Paste. And you do the same thing for odo end. I just copy this. I come here, odo end. I just change this to end. And then I'll change this to ending. Ending odometer reading. Ending. Okay. It wants us to print. Add code here to print. So it wants us to print odo start, odo end, and base charge. Well, I've already printed base charge anyway. So I'm just gonna come here. Well, I can. I'm gonna come here and I'll print. I've already printed base charge. I'll just say the starting odometer reading is this is another way to express this. I'll do auto start, and then I'll print the ending odometer reading. The ending odometer reading is odo end. Okay, yeah. Let's run this. D5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2. I say the starting odometer reading is this, ending odometer reading is this. Okay, but here they want us to print odo starts, print odo end, and then print base charge. Okay. So let's check it. Yo! Thank God this worked. Okay, good. Okay, the next one is calculate the mileage. Calculate the total mileage, which is the ending odometer reading minus the starting odometer reading, and store it as the variable total miles. Note, be sure that you have commented out base charge in order for the check it assessment to pass. Okay, let's see how we can solve this. Calculate the mileage, calculate the total mileage, ending odometer reading minus starting odometer reading, and store it as the variable total miles. Okay, so we'll write this will be total miles Now they didn't ask us to print, print total miles, right? So we'll just write it. It's not total miles. They didn't ask us to print total miles, so we just put total miles. That's fine. Total miles is odo end minus odo start, and that's it. I mean, that's it. Total miles is odo end minus odo start. Okay. Total miles equal to odo end ending odometer reading minus starting odometer reading, odo starts. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this. Check one failed. Okay, let's see what happened. Oh, we didn't comment out the 300 and here 988. Okay, the 300 is the base charge, as we could see here. The base charge is $300. So they asked us to comment out base charge in order for the check it assessment to pass. Okay, so I'm going to comment this print base charge. I'll put a comment and check it. Okay, so probably it wants us to print out the total miles. It didn't say print it out though. Did it say print it out? Anyway, it probably wants us to print out the total miles. So no problem, I'll print it. Print total miles. Okay. Check it. Yo. Thank God. It worked. Okay, so I'm gonna just come here. Let me go ahead and do it here myself. The total miles, the total mileage or total miles. I'm gonna say total miles driven. The total miles driven is I can actually, how do I want to do it something, this mouse. I want to do it that way. This mouse. So I'm going to do it this way, folks. Look at what I'm going to do. This mouse. Then dot format. I kind of like this thing. I kind of like the total mouse. So it will say, it will actually give me is that 988, right? 988 miles. It will say it like that. That's the way to say it. So I'm gonna run this. D5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2 988 miles. Good. Okay. Next one. Now you know you can also write this as this. You can also write this like this. If you want to use this like this, you can say print. First, I'll still comment it out, but let me first of all write it. You can write it this way. The total miles driven is, then you put a space, you put plus, you put total, you put string, convert it to string, write total miles. Okay, then you concatenate it again. Okay, you know the plus is addition operator for mathematics, and then it is the concatenator operator for strings. That's your plus sign. If it's mathematics, if it's for integers and floats, is the addition operator. If it is for strings, it is the concatenator. So I'm gonna convert this to strings, and then I now put miles. I want to put some space, so I put a space here and I put miles. So it's still gonna give me, it will give me the total miles driven is 988 miles. Let's do that. D5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2. See that? Yay! That's another way to write it. Okay, so next one here. Step 2, calculate the mileage charge. Depending on the rental type, the mileage charge is calculated differently. You will need to create add code to calculate the mileage charge for each type of rental. Store the cost of miles driven as the variable mileCharge. Okay. So let's do the mileage charge and see. Calculate the mileage charge, store it as a variable mileCharge. Okay, for code B, mileage charge is 25 cents for each mile driven. Let me write this. I'm gonna write this first here. Okay. Want to write it first on Python. So let me comment this. Another way to write it. Okay. For the budget, if we have to use a conditional statement here. If the customer wants budget, then the mileage charge will be 0.25 times the total miles. That's what it's gonna be. Okay, so we'll say if rentalCode equal the budget, then mileage charge. Okay, that's the nice thing about Python. Once you assign something to a variable, you've defined it. You use it right away. I mean, it's nice, but in other languages it might not be, because then, you have to be flexible anyway. In other languages, you have to define the variable before you use it. But Python, just go ahead and use it. So mileCharge will be 0.25 times total miles. Total miles. Okay, that's what it will be. Now, code D, daily. Daily mileage charge. No charge if the number of miles driven per day is 100 miles or less. Calculate the average day miles. Then, if average day miles is above 100 mile per day limit, calculate extra miles, which is average day miles minus 100, and then calculate the mileCharge. mileCharge is the charge for extra miles, which is 0.25 cents for each mile. Okay, folks, let's see here. Let's write the code here. If rentalCode equal D, then what do? We calculate average day miles. Average day miles. And what is average day miles? It is total miles divided by rental period. Right? And then we have if average day miles is above 100 mile per day limit, then calculate extra miles. Okay, we come here. If average day miles is, but first of all, if it's 100 miles or less, then no charge. Then the mileCharge is 0. So if average day miles is less than or equal to 100, okay, then the mileCharge is 0. Elif average day miles greater than 100. If it's greater than 100, then calculate extra miles. Extra miles is equal to average day miles minus 100. Minus 100. Okay, and the mileCharge would be 0.25 times extra miles. Okay, so that is for daily. That's for daily. Let's get to weekly. Code W, weekly mileage charge. No charge if the average number of miles driven per week is 900 miles or less. Now we want to calculate the average week miles, which is the total miles divided by the rental period. And then if the mileCharge is $100 per week. If the average number of miles driven per week exceeds 900 miles. Okay, let's write the code here. If rentalCode equal W, what happens then? We will have average week miles. Average week miles is equal to total miles divided by rental period. All right? Then, if the average weekly miles is less than or equal to 900, then mileCharge will be 0. If average week miles is less than or equal to 900, then what happens? mileCharge is equal to 0. Else if average weekly miles is greater than 900, what should happen then? mileCharge will just be, mileCharge is $100 per week, which $100 per week, okay? And the rental period is, how many weeks? So that would be 100 times rental period. 100 times rental period. Okay, that will, because it's $100 per week. If the customer says weekly, you put in code W, how many weeks? So it will be 100 times how many weeks? So this is 100 times that rental period. Okay. I'm gonna, I will just copy, I'm gonna copy this here. Under code B, I copy and paste it. And then under code D, I copy and paste this one. Copy and paste this here. And then under code C, I copy and paste this here. Copy and paste it here. Okay. I don't know whether we are asked to print out, add code to calculate this, store the cost, mileCharge. Okay, but then we are not asked to print it, so I don't know. Let's see. We check it. Okay, failed check, no problem. Let's see the error. Let's see what they want and what we are given. So here it says here, trace back most recent call, file rentalcar.py, line 119, and this is line 119. If average week miles is less than or equal to 900, name error, name average week miles is not defined. Okay, so what do they want actually? They want 122.0. So 122.0 should probably be the mileCharge. mileCharge 122.0. And they want it for the same thing, D5 1234 2222 and then 122.0. Okay, so they want us to print mileCharge. All right, but there is a problem with mine first. Average week miles is not defined. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix this code, and we want 122.0 as the mileCharge. Okay, I'm gonna write print miles here. Print mileCharge. Let me go ahead and run this here first. Okay, I run it here first. This is D5 1234 2222. Average process finished with exit code 1, which means there's an error. So average week miles is not defined. Okay. All right, folks. And with Python, like I said, once you assign something to a variable, you have defined it already. So for it to say that this variable is not defined is kind of funny a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, what we shall do here is let us write everything, because we are going to do what we call, because I think the problem here, we used day, and then it says the average weekly miles is not defined. Average week miles is not defined. You look here, it didn't say, and here, you kind of think about it. Why didn't this say average day miles is not defined? Because this is the same thing I did for average. If rental code is equal D, average day miles is this. So why didn't it say that? So, and it runs from, it has a top-down approach. So it checked here, it's not B. Then it checked here, if it's D, then this is the average day miles. And then if this is this, so then print mileCharge. Then it came here, and this is where it says average week miles is not defined. And that is line, what it is, it says the line, line 128. You see that here, line 128. Line 128, if average week miles is less than or equal to 900. Meanwhile, I already defined average week miles here by assigning it to something. Okay, let's try this with week and see whether we can find out the problem. So W, it will ask me how many weeks. Let's say 5 weeks. Okay, I write 1, 2, 3, 4. I write 2, 2, 2, 2. Now it says average day miles is not defined. And it even gave me the total miles driven, 988. Okay, yeah, but it says average day miles is not defined. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna copy this. I'll cut this. I want to paste all of them here. So let's see this whole code entirely, because let's not do it in pieces. Let's not do it in pieces. Okay, we're gonna see this whole. We're gonna do this whole thing entirely, because everything is about mileCharge anyway. Everything is about mileCharge, so we're gonna do it holistically, not in bits and pieces. Okay, so if rental code is B, this is mileCharge. Okay, that's not a problem. If rental code is D, this is this. Now this will be, and here we are still under D. So I'm gonna put this. This is what we call multiple ifs. Multiple ifs. Like, oh, sorry, not multiple ifs. We have, of course, this is multiple ifs anyway. However, we call this nested ifs. Nested ifs. So this is, I'm gonna comment this. Nested ifs. Okay, because if rental code is D, all right, this is the average day miles, that's the formula. Then if the average day miles still under, because this is still under this, okay, if average day miles is this, then indent this, okay, then put this here, else save this, then put this here, then put this here. I think this should work this way. Nested ifs, we call this nested ifs. Okay, this should work this way, because this tells you that, this if and elif is still under this rental code D. We shouldn't treat this separately. First of all, if the rental code is D, find the average day miles. That's the first thing you do. Okay, then if the average day miles is less than or equal to 100, it's still under the rental code being D. Do you understand what I'm saying? In this one, B, it's not a problem. If the rental code is B, just find the mileCharge right away. But here, if the rental code is D, before you do anything first, find the average day miles first. Now, if the average day miles is less than or equal to 100, then the mileCharge is 0. Else if if the average day miles is greater than 100, then you find the extra miles, then you find the mile charge. But all this is still under this if here. So this is what we call nested ifs, because this is nested under this. And the same thing here. The same thing here is nested ifs. So the same thing applies to the W. Okay, and then we'll indent this. Make sure you indent it well. We indent this. And then we now print the mileCharge. So let's go ahead and run this. And let's do it with the ones they have. D 5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2. Okay, so it gives us something now. Okay, it ran, no error. But then it gives us 24.4. And they're getting 122.0. So there's a problem with the formula. And we're going to fix it anyway. We're going to fix it. So what might it be now? Because this is, we now see that this is, okay, it ran. Okay, thank God it ran. The next thing now is there's a problem with the formula for day, for the day, mile, for the mile charge for if it's D. So if it is greater than 100, which is, we have the total mass is 988. Okay, the total mass is 988. And the total miles divided by the rental period. I'm gonna pull up my calculator here. So let's do some calculations. Okay. When you pull up the calculator in your computer, it's in standard. It has it in standard. Just click on scientific. So with 988 miles, if it's greater than 100, find the extra mileage, extra miles driven. Okay, if the customer wants daily rental, the customer is allowed, 100 miles without charge for mileage. However, if the customer exceeds 100 miles, then you have to find out how many miles over 100 that the customer drove. Okay, that's the extra miles, and then you multiply it by 25 cents per mile. Okay, so 988 minus, first of all, let's make clear this. We first of all do, total miles is 988 divided by 5 days, because it's 5 days. So 988 divided by 5. It gives us this, right? Total miles is 988 divided by rental period, 5 days. That's the average day miles. And this is greater than 100. So we now do this now, average day miles is greater than 100. You now do minus 100. And it gives us 97.6 miles. And you multiply it by 20, there's the extra miles, multiply it by 25 cents. It gives us 24.4. And that is what we have here, 24.4 as the mile charge. Okay, mile charge. So this is per day, because this is per day. This is per day. The mile charge per day. So for 5 days will be this times 5. And that is 122.0. That's what they had here, 122.0. Okay, so let's fix it. Okay, this is per day. So the mile charge per day. This is the mile charge. I'm gonna comment this. This for weekly. Let's do it for daily. Mile charge. This is, we can add a comment here. mileCharge per day. Okay, so but now we will now if we want it for I'm gonna comment like if we want this for rental for rental for the number of days, because this is per day, the mile charge per day, because we did average day miles. So if we want the mile charge for the entire rental period, it will be this 0.25 times the extraMiles times the rental period. Okay, times the rental period. So I'm gonna put here mile charge per day is 0.25 times extraMiles. So as you write all these comments, it's easy for somebody looking at your code so that the person can easily grasp it. But we need mileCharge. We need mileCharge for the entire period. So I'm gonna put here mileCharge for the entire rental period. Let's have the formula, overall formula for it. 0.25 times extraMiles times rental period. And that's the formula we will use. So I'm gonna put here 0.25 times extraMiles times rental period. Okay, this will work. This should work now. Let's see here. I'm gonna just put here. Let me comment this. The mileCharge for the rental is and this is money, because this is money, right? Okay. I'll show you another way. Let's go ahead and write it. I'm going to show you another way of formatting currency, but let's use the one we used before. No problem. So I'm gonna put this $. I'll put this braces dot, and I'll close this quotation dot format mileCharge. And here I'll put the colon. I'll put .2 floats. Okay, to put it to 2 decimal places because it's currency. Okay, let's do this here. What kind of rental? D5 1 2 3 4 is the starting, 2 2 2 2 is the ending. There you go, $122. Thank God it worked now. Okay, $122. Although in their own, they just want it now in 122.0. That's fine. We're gonna do that now. What we could also do here, I want to teach you some stuff. Okay, I want to teach you extra stuff. Now, another thing I can do here is this. I can come and instead of putting times rental period, okay, and let me, I can write this in the comment. Okay, mileCharge is equal to 0.25 times extraMiles. I would like to teach you something now. Times rental period. Okay. Now, you can also write as mileCharge equal to 0.25. You can also do this times, you can write it this way. mileCharge is 0.25 times extraMiles times rental period. I'll say, or you can write it this way. You can write it this way. mileCharge, we can do the mileCharge for 1 day. mileCharge for 1 day first. Okay, equal to 0.25 times average day, times extraMiles. I'm sorry, times extraMiles. Okay, we can do that. Then we can now do mileCharge for the rental period. For the rental period to be, we now do mileCharge. Look at what I'm going to write now. Times equal rental period. And I'm going to explain this. Rental period. So I'm going to remove this here. Folks, I'm going to remove this because it's mileCharge for per day. Okay, I'm going to now write here mileCharge. And you can write it either way. Okay, I've put it in comments here. Excuse me. I put it in comments so you can write it either way. But this is what I want to teach you now. You could say mileCharge times equal rental period. Okay. mileCharge equal to mileCharge times equal rental period. Or is that, it should be probably the other way around. Equal times rental period. Rental period. Let's see here. Can't use third expression here. Oh, mileCharge equal to mileCharge times equal. Sorry, you can, yeah, I can use it. Yeah, I'm sorry. mileCharge, I'll just put mileCharge times equal rental period, just like this. Okay, so I want to explain what I just wrote now. That's another way you can write it. Like, you could write it like this. 0.25 times extraMiles times rental period. This is the one we wrote. Okay, but then if you want to be extra, like, I mean, mileCharge for the entire period, because this is mileCharge per day. That's the mileCharge per day. But for the entire rental period, what you could do is to write it this way. Now, what this means is times equal, and we also have plus equal, minus equal, divide equal. Okay, we also have that. So what it does is this, it will multiply this, because this is mileCharge, that is what it is. It will come, this here, it will also multiply rental period, and then it will add it to mileCharge. And we're going to get the same answer, you see. I removed times rental period here, but then I came here and I put times equal rental period. So what it does is, you know, this mileCharge here, it will just come, this here, it will just multiply rental period, and then it will add it to the new mileCharge, this same mileCharge here. That's what it will do. You also have plus equal, minus equal, divide equal. Okay, that's another thing you could learn here. Let's run it. I'll say D5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2, and you say it still gave us the same answer, $122. Okay, thank God this worked. Now, the next thing I want to teach you, so I've taught you times equal, okay? The same thing with plus equal, minus equal, depending on the expression, depending on the expression. Another thing I would like to teach you in this video is assuming, what if somebody puts 1, 2, 3, 4 and then makes mistakes and puts 2, 2, 2. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So D 5 1, 2, 3, 4 starting and makes the mistake and put 2, 2, 2. You know, we are human beings. We are human beings. So, and this is a programmed computer already. And the cashier or the person at the cash register makes mistake and put 2, 2, 2. And this still ran. You see, this program still ran. And the mileCharge is $0. And the person will tell the customer, you don't have any money to pay. If you do that, don't you think the company will lose money? The company is going to lose money. Okay, because the program will run. It's exited with code 0, which means there's no error. It will run. And it will print the receipt that the person doesn't have any mileCharge. Can you imagine that? And that it will be a fault of the programming. That's when we deal with errors, we look at these different types of errors here. The program still ran, but it's an error because the ending odometer should never be less than the starting odometer. Never. So if the person puts the mileage at the ending odometer, and it's smaller than the starting, that means the customer has no charge, and that is wrong. So what I'm gonna do now, let me go ahead and I don't know why this is still running, so I'm gonna close it, terminate. Okay, so I have only this. So what we are gonna do now is this. We will put a check to make sure that ending odometer is greater than starting odometer, must. And if it's greater than or equal to starting odometer, and if it's ever less than it, then the program should quit. It shouldn't print out receipts. It should not print out the receipt. So in that way, the cashier or the person at the cash register will say, hey, the receipt didn't print. What did I put wrong? And then we'll find out, okay, hey, I made a mistake here. So we come in this code, that odometer stuff. Where's the odometer? Yeah, odo start. So in printing the starting odometer, printing the ending odometer, let's put a code here that if we're gonna put check to make sure that the ending odometer is greater than the starting odometer. So it will be if odo end, because that's the odo end is less than odo start. Well, it could be sometimes the person will not drive any mile, you know. So if the person if it's less than it, yes, because it could be equal to it, no problem, but it should not be less than it. So if odo end is less than odo start, okay, once it's less than that, odo start, just print error, the ending odometer, so that the cashier will say ending odometer cannot be less than the starting odometer. Cannot be less than the starting odometer. That way the cashier will say it, okay? And then stop the program right away. So we use quit. When we do loops, we're gonna look at break when we do loops. But here you can just say quit the program right away. Okay, the ending odometer cannot be less than the starting odometer. Quit the program so that if the cashier realizes his or her mistake, then he or she will say, "Hey, what happened?" And then looked at it. Hey, I made a mistake. I put 222. So yeah, and we do make mistakes. So that's why we put checks and balances. Okay, so let's do this. What kind of rental D? 5. Starting odometer 1234. Ending odometer 222. Okay, it says here the ending odometer cannot be less than the starting odometer. So it gave the error right away. So the cashier will say, okay, hey, that's the problem. You see that? And then do it again, and then do it again. D 5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2, and then gives you the mileCharge. Okay, so this is like extra stuff, because when you start working for a company, you need to check all of these. So to make sure that your company doesn't lose money, right? There are two main goals of every business. Every business, the two main goals. What are the two main goals of every business? When I teach my students quadratic functions in mathematics, this is something I tell them. Two main goals of every business: to maximize profits and to minimize losses. Okay, maximize profit, minimize loss. So that is maxima and minima. You do that in mathematics, maxima and minima. Okay, let's now come here and I'm gonna come here. You know what? I'll come here and I'll paste this whole codes. I'll paste all these right here. I'm gonna copy all this to save me time. I copy all these. Okay. I'll come, copy it, Control C, and I'll paste it. I'm gonna paste it here. I'll delete this. I'll delete this. I'll delete this one. I'll delete this here. Yeah, I still need print mileCharge because probably your Encodio doesn't want me to put the $sign, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So I'm gonna come, I just say print mileCharge. So let me comment this out here. And then let's run this now. Yo! Thank God it ran. Yep. Yeah. Thank God it ran. Okay, next one. Calculate the amount due. The amount due is the base charge plus the mileCharge. And then print the customer summary as follows. Okay, customer summary. Then it says there, final check. Remove all print code from your script except for the rental summary. Okay, so the rental summary is we want the rental code, the rental period, the starting odometer, ending odometer, miles driven, and amount due. Okay, so this is all they want. All right. So let's write it here. And the amount due, they say the amount of money billed displayed with a $sign and rounded to 2 digits. So what we've been doing anyway, this is what we just did here anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and do it here. Print, I'm gonna come here, print rental summary. Okay, then I'll say print print rental code. Rental code is a code anyway, so I'm gonna just concatenate it, put rental code. Okay, then I'll say print rental period. I'll just play with this now. Okay, I'll put a comma, I'll put rental period here, rental period, like this. It will still work. I say print starting odometer. Okay, let me play again with this one. I will come. Actually, with this, you don't even need to put that space. For the concatenation sign, you need to put this space to differentiate it. And we'll do this. We'll look at it. We'll test it before we post it in Codia. Starting odometer, I'll put the curly braces. I'll put dot format. For some reason, I like these curly braces. And then I put auto starts. Okay. Then the next one, print ending odometer. How do I want this one now? You know, we are playing with this now. We are playing with this. So I'm gonna use this here, plus. And then I have to put string because this is an integer. So I'll put auto end. Different ways of doing stuff. How do you say it? Don't you like it? Different ways of doing things. Okay, the next one would be miles driven. Print miles driven. And I'll come here. I don't need to even put space here. You see, with this concatenation, you need to put space here to make it look nice. Here, I'll just put miles driven. Miles driven is total miles. Okay? Right? And then amount due. Let's try the formula for amount due. Amount due is base charge plus mileCharge. So I'm going to come here. Amount due. I'll write here amount due, and they want us to put it this way, amount due, right? That's the way they want it. Yeah, base charge plus mileCharge. Okay, then print miles driven is total miles. Then print amount due. Now this amount due, can we play with this now? I want to show you. I know we can write this first. Print amount due. I want to teach you another thing now. I want to teach you another stuff now. And they want us in this amount due to do what? They want it displayed with a $ rounded to 2 digits. Okay, so we can do it this way. I've done it before. I've done it earlier. $, curly braces, dot format, and you put amount due. And you come here, you put here a colon, then two floats. That's, you're putting this here, amount due, round it to 2 decimal places. That's what it means, 2 floats. Okay, I want to write this again. You can also write currency values this way. We can write it this way. Okay, so let me introduce you to libraries. We shall discuss it as as we move on in subsequent videos. We shall discuss it, but let me just introduce you first to what we mean by libraries. Now, if you look at Codio, it says import sys. This is a library. You're importing the library. Okay. So you can say, okay, like I said, the Python library documentation. The Python documentation should be your number one resource to look at stuff. I mean, it's not the only resource. I mean, of course, Google, Bing, they are very nice resources, because the questions you have, some other person probably have asked that question before. So you could find the solutions to that. But you will need to learn you will need to read, and I know the Python documentation is too, I mean, it's large, I mean, you look at it, you look at it and you might say, oh no, I'm not going to bother myself with this. So, but it's very important, very, very important. And there are some examples there that are really, really good. So let's see another way we can write currency values. I'm going to go to my website. You can go to Samuel Chukwuemeka or Chukwuemeka Samuel. It doesn't matter. This time, let me go to samuelchukwuemeka.com. I go to technology and I come to Python. I go to resources and I'm going to put in Python standard library. So let's look at currency here. Currency. And let's see what they have regarding currency. About currency symbol. So you see this here. Remember, we are using Python 3.6 point something. That's what we're using. But let's look at this. I see currency symbol. I click on it. And you can, read this. You can read this. Okay. But what I'm going to show you now is, I'm going to import this library. This is a library here. I'm going to import this library right here. I will import it. I want to show you another way we can write currency. Okay, so I'm going to import this. I come here at the very top of the code. Very top of the code. Oh, look at, I said application. So I'm going to change it to application. Okay. I can leave this comment. That's fine. I can come here and I paste it here. Okay. To import this library. See what I just did there. Okay. So once you do that, you could come here and you could also write this like this. Okay. Print amount due, and I'm gonna say amount due, I will say low. I will come here if I want space. Generally, I'm gonna do it two ways. So I'll put this and I'll put local dot currency. Okay, and I'll put amount due. That's it, just like that. Amount due local dot currency amount due. I can also write it this way: print amount due, and I come here because I want to use plus, so I put a space, and I still put local dot currency, and I put amount due, and that's it. So Python has Python has several libraries that you can import and use in your application. So that's another way to write it. Now let's go ahead and test it before we finish up Codio. So we have what kind of rental, daily, how many days, number 5, starting odometer 1, 2, 3, 4, ending 2, 2, 2, 2. So see it here, amount due $422. See that? Same way. Okay, I hope you've learned something tonight. So let's copy this. I'm going to copy this right here and I'll paste it in Codio. I'm not going to import libraries in Codio. I'll just leave that. I'll come here in Codio, and I'm just gonna paste this here. I'll paste this right here. Okay, Codio wants us to remove all print code from your script except for the rental summary. As you see here, I think the whole thing gives us rental summary, rental code, rental period, starting odometer. Yeah, we can put space in the starting odometer space. All you need is to just put space here, right here, just like this, starting odometer. Okay. Ending odometer, miles driven, let me put colon here, amount due. Let's run it again. D 5 1 2 3 4 2 2 2 2. Okay. See now, it's all good now. So I'm gonna just copy this right now here. Copy. And I'm gonna come here and I will paste it. And then I'm gonna remove all other prints. Okay, I hope. I'm gonna remove, well, I'm gonna comment it. I won't remove it, I'll comment all prints. All prints. I'll comment it. Because it says remove all print code from your script. But I'm gonna comment it. Later you can remove it, but just I'm gonna comment it. Okay. Print. Comment this one. Comment this one out. Okay. And then I can check this. Oh wow, check one failed. Let's see. Amount due. Amount due is not defined. Oh, I didn't put the amount due here. I even put it here. I didn't put it in the Codio. So I'm gonna copy it. I'll come here and I'll paste it here. Okay. I check this again. Yeah, thank God. Thank God it checked. Yeah. Next. Okay, so you can now finish up this. We've done the most part. And I'm just gonna come here. I will copy all this. Control C, Control A, Control C. Come here. Control A, delete. Control C. Oh, okay, Control A, Control C. Come here. Control V. And then Control S. You can do Control S. Okay. And close it. All right. And I'm gonna just close this. Are you sure you want to exit? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Watch out for other videos. And you have a good night.